Hey everybody, what's up from Roll, Minnesota, your state of skate. Hey, I'm Butch Lehman, and today we're in for another episode of Rolling Reactions. Now today's episode features an absolute monster on the blades straight out of Australia. His name is CJ Wellsmore. Now CJ has a reputation for being an amazing skater on the park circuit. He's winning and placing in a lot of different park competitions out there. But recently he dropped a new street part on us titled Full Circle. So that's one that is an absolute banger, and I wanted to share it with you guys here today. Also, we will take a look at some of CJ's park skating as well in a part that he put out a few years back called Park Rat. So today it's a good combination of park and street skating. Anyway, guys, I invite you to join me. Let's check out some work from CJ Wellsmore. All right, so as you guys know, CJ Wellsmore has put out some amazing video parts throughout his career, and this one is really no exception. You're gonna get high caliber skating, and you're gonna get some amazing cinematography to match up with it. And that's one of the things I wanna do first in this video review, is give credit where credit is due to the producer and filmer of the video, Dom West. Now, if you're not familiar with Dom, he is an absolute legend in the inline skating community. He's produced Vine Street 2, two of my favorite videos. They're both amazing. And he's really notable for getting these great establishing shots, these insert shots, and shots of the city to establish that sense of setting. And it just is a great production. So he makes the skaters look good. Speaking of which, CJ's looking good doing the top acid down the C-rail. You can see it bend underneath his weight. And coming in fast, doing the sweaty dance. We talk about that on the channel here, but it really is one of the most deceptively difficult tricks to do. On surface value, it's fairly easy, but if you put too much weight onto that H-block foot, things can go wrong. Now for CJ though, there's a lot of things that have gone right throughout his career, and one of the things I think about when I think about CJ is just how fast he approaches his tricks. And that's one of the things I appreciate, because I think that adds to the sense of style and consistency and just the confidence going into tricks. You'll also see that he has some of the best spins in the game. He definitely knows how to spin. Maybe that comes from his park background, but he's not afraid to get the legs up sideways either and add that little bit of flair to it. Speaking of which, we got the 360 coming up. Big gap into the bowl. That's one of the other things we should mention is with all that park background, CJ knows how to flow a park and utilize transitions unlike anybody else out there. You can see him grinding up and over the barrier there, taking that big bio 540 off of the slant. And that's one of those obstacles too that I'm sure is much more difficult to skate in person than perhaps it looks from video. But that's probably a very steep angled slant. Nice Luke hang. If you're gonna do the Luke hang, that's the way to do it. You wanna keep that foot extended for a little bit. And it's one of the grabs out there that I think is underrated. Jumping over into the bowl here. This is like got the actual pool style coping up at the top, which you don't see too often at actual skate parks. Look at that, just massive air on this. I've been an admirer of CJ Wellsmore for a long time, and he really appeals to my type of skating, where I am more of a park skater, but I also really appreciate street. And so people that have that ability, that versatility to kind of combine the two, is something that I really respect and something that I aspire to with my own skating. You can see all of his awards here, and he has a lot of awards. Like I said, he's been on the FEES competition series, a number of other competition series, and just racking up the wins, the placements, and they're well-deserved. He's an absolute cannon. Speaking of which, big 540 over the grass gap here. Look at this, using the ledge. See, it's this kind of B-roll that I absolutely love. Get a sense of the spot, a couple different angles here. The roll to big grab off, 180. Looks like he had a little cheering section down there at the bottom too, which is always appreciated. When you can showcase inline skating like that to the general public, it's kind of a dual win. You get the win of doing the actual trick, but then also the exposure element. Look at that, 450 Royale. Rewinds out, coming back the other direction too. That's sometimes really hard to do as a skater that likes to spin myself when you have all the wind up and the momentum going into one direction. To be able to get control, rebalance, and then get your dismount. I absolutely love that angle, by the way, on that flat spin 360. Really cool going into the 90-degree transition. Look at this spot. Like, what a great sub box for a bull. I don't even know if that was intentionally like a sub box, but the way he used it as one, flawless. By the way, check out this spot. It's like a weird angled ledge. That thing looks dangerous. You missed that one, I could see it tripping your feet out and hipping. Nobody wants to take a hipper at the skate park or on a street spot for that matter. Nice air. And again, look at that textbook flat spin 360. That is how you do it. Shout out to all the parks that have the lights at night. I know that's becoming more and more common, and it seems like such a great idea, especially for some of those warmer weather climates. And this is down in Australia, so it makes sense that they would want to skate out when it's a little bit cooler out. And surprising that this hadn't been done much earlier. Got the ledge transfer to the down kink rail to wrap things off. Again, shout out to Dom West on this. He deserves just as much credit. Shout out to CJ. It's a great video part. All right, so that last video did a great job of combining some street skating as well as some park skating. But you guys know me, I love park skating, and so if I have the opportunity to showcase some additional park skating on this channel, I'm gonna take it. Speaking of taking the opportunity, CJ is going around 2 corners of this bowl and still maintaining enough speed and control to get the massive air out of the deep end. Now this is something that I think a lot of skaters don't get enough credit for. Vert skaters, bowl skaters, transition skaters. It takes a lot of athleticism and endurance and just awareness of how to approach different lines to skate those types of obstacles effectively. So props to all the transition skaters out there. By the way, this is a trick that I really like in this section, the true top horn coming up, full cab out, and just flawlessly lands that full cab. Can be a tricky one to do. We're back at this skate park, and it has a beautiful location. You see the ocean in the background. I would love to skate this park someday. Soul grind gapping over the ledges. One of my favorite tricks to do right there. Mute 360. Just love the feeling of drifting through the air with the cross grab. It feels good, and there's really nobody better at it than CJ. Got another little plaza-style skate park here, and working in a line. Got the soul grind 360 out, lining up right away for the 360 soul grind down. And I don't even know what to call this. I'd have to look at that again, but that almost looked like a corkscrew hand plant coming out of the bowl. Really cool. Bonus points for going upside down. I love that kind of stuff. 360 top soul up on the extension. Interesting change of direction on the zero spin. Look how much distance he covers on that drift. It's like the height and the distance are both present. Oh, we got a back fast slide going on a quarter pipe. You know, that's a trick you don't see too often. Often you'll see the fast slides being done on rails, but not very often on a quarter pipe. We're back to this bowl again, jumping in from the rail. And one thing I'll comment on here is you see half the bowl is in shade and the other half is in sun. I've skated a bowl like that before, Lawrenson Park in Iowa, and it makes it so much more difficult when you're suddenly blinded by the sun coming out of the shade. So I don't think anybody really realizes how disruptive that can be. Anyway, great section from CJ here. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Rolling Reactions featuring CJ Wellsmore. He's a skater that's on an absolute tear and somebody that I have tremendous respect for, partially due to his versatility as a skater, but also due to the positive exposure that he brings to blading in a lot of different ways, whether it's the competition circuit and bringing the exposure more mainstream to inline skating, or just the video parts that he's producing and the way he's constantly representing his sponsors in a positive light. I have a lot of respect for that. Anyway, you guys will have to let me know what you think of CJ Wellsmore skating down in the comments below. And until next time, remember to stay safe, stay healthy, and get out there and do some rollerblading. We'll see y'all with the next video. Till then, peace, everybody.